The Winchester man, who is accused of starting an apartment fire that killed 3 people, is speaking exclusively to WKYT. We have the jailhouse interview coming up.
I'm by fire outside of the Joe Kraft Center on UK's campus, where students have the chance to get their tickets to see the Wildcats in the NCAA tournament.
A Laurel County man is in jail after police say that his target practice turned his neighbors' homes into a war zone.
This is WKYT News at Noon.
Good afternoon, everyone. From WKYT News, I'm Barbara Bailey.
I'm Bill Bryant. Here's what's happening at noon. He is charged with starting a deadly apartment fire in central Kentucky. It broke out early Friday morning on Spring Mist Lane in Winchester.
And before he faces a judge in about an hour, Jackie Heisel Jr. is admitting regret for the deaths of the 3 victims. WKYT's Mark Barber is live outside the Clark County Courthouse now with more from his exclusive interview. It's our top story at noon. Mark.
Good afternoon, Barbara. Jackie Heisel is expressing remorse and regret. He says that he accidentally started the fire that killed 2 of his friends and his own son.
He's my friend, he's my Christian, but he's my life.
Heisel says he can't eat or sleep or stop crying because he sparked the fire that killed his son. The 55-year-old says he was smoking and drinking in his apartment on Spring Mist Lane early Friday morning when flames started shooting out of his oxygen tank. Heisel doesn't know whether something in his ashtray or a lit cigarette sparked the flames.
I'm the next door, and I'll be on my neighbor's door, and I'll tell him to get the kids out.
When Heisel ran back to his apartment to see if his son made it out, he turned back because the smoke was too thick. His 36-year-old son, Donald Heisel, and 2 of his neighbors, 29-year-old Tina Reynolds and 71-year-old Dixie Everman, did not survive. Everman died at the hospital after she jumped from her 2nd-story window and broke her legs. Do you have any regrets?
Oh yeah, the things I wish I could have done, and things I wish I'd done different. Yeah, I regret it. Like I say, I regret it every day.
Heisel will be arraigned on 3 counts of 2nd-degree manslaughter in an hour here at the Clark County District Courthouse. That's the same time when his 36-year-old son will be buried in the Clark County Cemetery. Live in Winchester, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Mark, thank you. And Heisel says he thinks the manslaughter charges are excessive because the fire was an accident. According to an arrest citation, Heisel had been warned about smoking around his oxygen tank before.
A southern Kentucky man is behind bars this midday after apparently having some target practice get out of control on him. Police arrested Calvin Earl Barger III for reportedly firing rounds from a gun in his backyard, hitting nearby homes. WKYT's Phil Pendleton spoke to a man who says one bullet nearly hit his wife.
This happened yesterday afternoon about 3 o'clock, but some neighbors tell me they had heard gunshots all weekend long, some of which happened at night. But neighbors here tell me that it was literally a war zone. Bullets were zipping past their heads, and one of those bullets landed in a house over here. The man who lives there says his wife had just exited the restroom where the bullet was found.
And all of a sudden we heard a combustion, you know, in her bathroom. We thought it may have been a light explode or something like that. And I realized I went outside first, went back inside, couldn't find nothing, so I went back outside, and that's when I saw a hole over there in the house.
Police have charged the man that they say fired the weapon. His name is Calvin Earl Barger. He's charged with a felony.
Okay, there we go with that report from Laurel County. Barger is also facing criminal charges of criminal mischief. We're told that he was expected to answer to those charges at late morning, so we'll be checking on that story. The search is continuing this afternoon for 2 men after an overnight shooting in Lexington. A man was shot in the leg on Oak Street off Georgetown Street just after 1:30 this morning. Witnesses told police they saw 2 men speed off in a dark-colored SUV. The victim is said to be not cooperating with the investigation.
Well, showers and storms are picking up as we head through the afternoon and evening hours, but it will dry out some tomorrow and midweek. WKYT meteorologist Micah Harris is live in our First Alert Weather Center now with details. Micah.
Yeah, we still have those showers going on. They will turn into thunderstorms as we approach the next couple of hours. I'd say anywhere from 1 p.m. to about 5 p.m. That's your best bet for seeing this, which is obviously not impressive at this moment, but that's the front edge of the system heading eastbound, and we're going to see that turn in to a few rumbles of thunder, and that's the way we're going to have that the rest of the afternoon. Now, looking across the region, I mean, things are looking pretty good outside. We're at 69 degrees in Jackson. That's a nice feel. And even here in Lexington, I mean, we're still talking about a very pleasant day in store already, sitting there in the mid-60s. This Mountain Parkway in Frankfort. The rest of your afternoon, spotty storms will get going, especially I-75 and eastbound. That is the best bet of actually seeing these storms, and also that's the best bet that we actually see strong, potentially a severe isolated cell. I'm going to really get into it. I'm going to dive into those details, show you the updates from the Storm Prediction Center coming up in a few minutes.
All right, Micah, we'll see you in a bit, and we thank you. You know, many of us have made the decision to go paperless, trading in our envelopes and stamps and checks for a username, password, or credit card. But what happens to all of your password-protected accounts when someone dies? Tonight, we'll take a look at how the digital world has complicated matters when it comes to death. A local attorney says he has been adding clauses in wills for digital assets. While adding that language helps, he says it does not solve all the problems that can arise.
We used to just have physical lives, but we now have these digital lives. And what it turns out is in almost all of those cases, well, you don't actually own them, you're just using them.
And tonight on WKYT, we'll talk about how ultimately says legislation is needed to address this issue. Our Miranda Combs will have a full report this evening on WKYT News at 6. Well, with about 2 weeks left in the 2016 legislative session, there appears to be a battle brewing over the state budget. House leaders are suggesting that when its budget proposal is released, possibly tomorrow, it will restore the cuts to higher education that Governor Matt Bevin is asking for. The governor says he will not sign a bill that exempts universities from spending cuts. The House appears to have enough support to draft its own budget after Democrats won 3 out of 4 of last week's special elections to hang on to control. Well, the basketball Cats and the Big Blue Nation are looking ahead to the NCAA tournament.
UK will take on Stony Brook in Des Moines, Iowa Thursday night. WKYT's Mike Byer is outside the ticket office on the UK campus with more on what you need to know if you plan to head west for the games. Mike?
I've been standing outside of the Joe Kraft Center for a few hours now, and so far I haven't seen any students in person try to request tickets for the NCAA tourney. Student tickets are on sale until 4 p.m. Students can call or visit the Joe Kraft Center ticket office to request up to 2 tickets for the first and second rounds in Des Moines. 50 student tickets will be available. Now, if the number of tickets requested exceeds 50, and there's a good chance of that, winners will then be determined randomly. You will receive an email after 6 today letting you know whether or not you got them. If you're fortunate enough, you'll need your student ID and driver's license when picking them up at the Wells Fargo Arena box office. Now, for all other fans, unfortunately the first and second round games in Des Moines are sold out, but some tickets are still available through secondary markets. The one officials recommend you use is NCAA Ticket Exchange. Now, as of this morning, tickets were still available on the NCAA Ticket Exchange site, but just to warn you, they will cost you a few dollars. In Lexington, Mike Byer, WKYT.
Mike, thank you. The Better Business Bureau recently released a statement warning fans to be careful when purchasing tickets through secondary markets. Another SEC championship means another T-shirt for fans. As soon as Sunday's game ended, workers at Wildcat Warehouse on South Broadway in Lexington got to work printing new shirts. The SEC championship shirt has the same design that the players wore on the court in Nashville. They're available online and will be at all Wildcat Warehouse stores by tomorrow.
Well, presidential candidates are out on the campaign trail in full force today, focusing on the second Super Tuesday. We'll have more on the impact of these primaries coming up on Kentucky's #1 Midday News.
Also ahead, it's one of the greatest traditions in awards shows, sliming at the Kids' Choice Awards. We'll show you which stars got the green goo next on WKYT.
For years, you posted your whole life online. But what happens to those memories when you're gone?
They say life is complicated. Where do you see death?
WKYT investigates digital life after death. Tonight at 6 on WKYT. Kentucky mornings start here. Breaking and overnight news, weather to plan your day, plus traffic you can take with you. Make WKYT This Morning part of your Kentucky morning. Weekdays from 4:30 to 7 on WKYT.
Considering bankruptcy? Call Atkinson, Sims & Kermode. Start your bankruptcy for only $78 now. Dial 859. Call Ask for your free consultation.
At Belterra Casino Resort, you'll discover that the time of your life is best shared with good company. That every moment is worth savoring. And that some nights should never have to end. Belterra Casino Resort, your everyday escape.
All across America, families are coming back to Time Warner Cable for a whole new experience.
We came back for internet speeds so fast, even the kids are impressed. Oh, she's impressed.
We're catching up on movies and shows on demand just as fast as we can watch them.
TWC's home Wi-Fi is so strong, we can use all our devices at the same time.
Come back today. You'll get 30 meg internet, TV, phone, and more for $89.99 a month. And ask how you could get a $300 reward card. Call now.
Did your family set a goal to become healthier in the new year? One family did and lost 300 pounds at Ageless. Bruce lost 92 pounds, Adam lost 64 pounds, and Catherine lost 151 pounds. For a medically supervised, affordable weight loss solution, call Ageless today for a free consultation.
Every day at Cracker Barrel Old Country Store, we serve fresh, made-from-scratch cooking. Our famous breakfast, day or night. And with meals starting at $5.99, our prices are downright comfortable. So stop on by. You're always welcome.
Hi, I'm Brian, and I buy houses in the Lexington area. No more stress. I can buy your house as is, and we'll close professionally with a Lexington attorney. You can get all cash, immediate debt relief, and peace of mind. Call me at 859-278-HELP or go to 278help.com.
Kentucky Brandon, all things Kentucky.
Welcome back to WKYT News at noon. The presidential candidates are hitting the campaign trail hard today ahead of tomorrow's key primary battles.
They're on the move because 5 states, Florida, Ohio, North Carolina, Missouri, and Illinois, go to the polls tomorrow. Don Champion has the latest from Miami, where Trump now has a double-digit lead in the polls.
Marco Rubio reached out to voters in Florida Monday morning. He blamed Donald Trump for dividing the nation in the wake of violent clashes at Trump rallies over the weekend.
We cannot have a country where everybody hates each other.
Late Sunday night, Trump defended how he dealt with the clashes.
They're talking about us, and they're talking about how well we handled it.
The latest polls show Rubio falling to 3rd place in his home state of Florida, behind Trump and Ted Cruz.
The way to beat Donald Trump is beat him at the ballot box.
Polls also show Trump in a dead heat in Ohio with John Kasich, who is trying to win his home state.
This country is not about us tearing one another down or having fistfights at a campaign rally.
Trump canceled an event here in Florida to campaign in Ohio, where the winner takes all of that state's 66 delegates. On CBS this morning, a Republican pollster said the unrest at Trump rallies is scary.
If we don't do something about it, it is going to get even worse.
Democratic candidates Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders also took aim at Trump at a town hall Sunday evening.
Donald Trump is literally inciting violence.
He is trafficking in hate.
Polls show Clinton leading in Florida and Ohio and Sanders ahead in Illinois. Don Champion, CBS News, Miami.
358 delegates are up for grabs in the Republican side, and the 691 Democratic delegates are on the line Tuesday. It's a big day. Well, a new trial is underway in New York over General Motors' faulty ignition switch controversy. A federal court trial in Manhattan will attempt to define legal boundaries that may aid in the settlement of hundreds of lawsuits. They were filed after GM revealed that it had continued to sell flawed cars even after discovering an ignition switch defect in Chevy Cobalts and some other small cars. Well, the Eagles have likely played their last swan song together as a group.
Drummer and vocalist Don Henley says Glenn Frey's death means the end of the legendary band. Frey died earlier this year after suffering complications from rheumatoid arthritis and pneumonia. Henley says it was very difficult and emotional to do Take It Easy in Fry's memory at the Grammys, and they nearly didn't do it. But the Recording Academy insisted on that. Henley also said he doesn't think they'll ever perform together again, calling it, quote, an appropriate farewell. Nickelodeon's Kids' Choice Awards had its winners and losers, but the big draw, as always, the Slimers. Among those who got the green goo, actors John Stamos, the girl group Fifth Harmony, and country music singer Blake Shelton, who hosted the ceremony. Adam Sandler accepted the award for Best Animated Movie for Hotel Transylvania 3. Will Ferrell and Kentucky native Jennifer Lawrence were named Favorite Movie Actor and Actress. Star Wars: The Force Awakens won for Best Film. They always have a lot of fun with that.
Obviously they do, right? Well, we're learning more about the moments leading up to an Amtrak train derailment early this morning in Kansas that has injured dozens of people.
We'll have the latest on the investigation coming up in a report on WKYT News at 12:30.
Not really a stout system right now. Once we get into the heating of the day, which is coming up, you'll start to see these kind of explode into thunderstorms. Now, I'm going to show you if there's a severe weather threat for it coming up next.
Think you might be pregnant? No judgment, no pressure, just help. AssuranceCare.org.
The Castle's the best place to buy jewelry.
Officially licensed UK watches start at $19. Kentucky BBN necklaces, Castle price only $39. Genuine cultured pearls and blue agate necklaces only $79. Shop 10 Castle locations or thecastlejewelry.com.
For the last 11 years, our brave men and women have been at war in the Middle East. Many have come back with life-altering injuries, both physical and mental. At Morgan & Morgan, we have a section devoted to serving our veterans and helping them with their VA claims. The process is complicated and many are denied. If you've been denied VA benefits, visit forthepeople.com for answers to your questions. Morgan & Morgan, serving our veterans.
Do you want your home to feel like a vacation home? Do you want to bring the best of the outdoors in? Then get a new sunroom from Champion. Trust Champion as your neighbors have. For over 60 years, Champion has transformed homes like yours with our American-made sunrooms, backed by our exclusive warranty. And now get $5,000 off a brand new sunroom. And you pay nothing for 18 months. Call 844-4CHAMPION today. For sunrooms and great savings, every home needs a Champion.
These creamery shakes are so rich and creamy.
I know. Finally a shake for an aficionado like myself.
Wait, you're a shake aficionado?
Not a shake aficionado. The shake aficionado.
Whoa.
Yeah. Well, perhaps you could be one too. Go ahead.
It's a coolness. It's cold.
Okay, ice cream is cold. Stop the presses, guys. Ice cream is cold. Says Pete. Print it.
New slow-turned creamery shakes are here in premium flavors like bourbon brown sugar. And all shakes are half price after 8 p.m. This is how you Sonic.
What does your insurance actually do when it's not doing insurance? What if you could get help with more often? And you could also plan amazing trips. Save on event tickets or hotel rooms. Even get rescued roadside. You can when you're a member and your insurance is AAA. Insurance that's not just insurance.
The Castle is the biggest discounter of diamonds, fine jewelry, and pre-owned Rolex watches. The Castle also pays the highest price for scrap gold and will loan you money on almost anything of value. When there's too much month at the end of the money, the Castle will help.
Remember, if you need a loan,
there's no hassle at the Castle. I'm WKYT's Miranda Combs, and I stand for Kentucky.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Showers rolling across the region, especially along I-75. We spoke about it this morning. It's right on cue that around I-75 by noontime is where the showers will be located. And then anywhere from 1 to 5 p.m. pressing eastbound is where the best opportunity lies for maybe some strong, potentially an isolated severe storm. So let's talk about this. Let's get into it. The movement of this. You're going to see it's a big spin. I mean, this is a low-pressure system that's going to be gliding across the Commonwealth of Kentucky. All this is moving northeast. But when it gets off into eastern Kentucky, now we're getting to the heating of the day, prime time heating. And you'll start to see these showers turn into some thunderstorms, and there will be spotty storms, like I said, especially east of I-75. That's your best bet. 64 going from Lexington all the way to Moorhead and continue on over toward Ashland. That's an area that we're going to be watching out for. Mountain Parkway, Hal Rogers Parkway, 15 going from Breathitt County to Perry. I mean, all those locations east of 75, that's mainly where you're going to get those spotty storms. We could still get them in the west and central zones, but for the most part, that's the area we're watching for as we go off into the night. Watch this going off into the next several hours. This is your hour-by-hour forecast. Let me break it down for you so you can plan the rest of your afternoon. If you are trying to get out and about before the kids get home from school and run a few errands, just know this, most of this really pops right around 2 to about 4 p.m. So you still have about another hour or two before you start to see these really get going. And when they do, it's going to be your garden variety thunderstorms, meaning you'll get some lightning within those and also some heavy downpours. And you can see right over Mount Sterling, going to Owingsville, work your way southbound into Jackson, off towards, say, places like Nye County, Pippa Pass's Hindman area. And as you continue to go off toward 5, 6 p.m., by 5 and 6 p.m., thunderstorm activity will be long gone in terms of any severe weather threat. The back edge of this, now some cooler air filters on in, and we'll just have some showers as we head off into the rest of the evening, into the night, into tomorrow. Watch this. It looks pretty good, man, but we're talking about low to mid 70s. Tomorrow will be your best day in the forecast, no doubt about it, 100%. Then we get off into the night, and here comes another little system that could clip northern Kentucky, but for the most part, I'm not too much worried about that tomorrow night. It's mainly about the rest of the afternoon with these strong storms that will get going. Like I was talking about, guys, this is a very low-end severe weather threat, so an isolated cell is possible. Most of this is going to be a lot of lightning, very heavy downpours as they pass through eastern Kentucky.
Okay, and scattered.
And scattered, yeah. Not everybody will see them. You're
Thank you. Back in just a moment on WKYT and your new news. And Coach Cal is talking about seeding.
But his team is celebrating a championship. Dave Baker has sports next.
And we'll check the stocks heading into the break this afternoon. The major market indicators are largely unchanged.
CBS Tonight.
He came in with no disease. You gave him blood. Now he has a disease. The panic starts.
These geniuses team up
We work for Homeland, be smart, solve problems, that's what we do.
to stop
My team and I are going to save you.
a deadly virus.
This is terrorism. We know what we have to do. We have to hijack a truck. It's a nightmare that gets worse.
We've been slow smoking over oak for more than 45 years. And while sticking to tried and true traditions is kind of our thing, it doesn't hurt to throw something new in the smoker every now and then. Come get some slow smoked chicken wings at Sonny's Barbecue. Order them as an appetizer or as part of a combo with pork, baby back ribs, or both, starting at $10.99. Sonny's Barbecue, local pitmasters since '68.
After you're injured at work, a lot of times the insurance company will attempt to call you, take statements. Don't speak to them until you speak with an experienced workers' compensation attorney.
The insurance company will attempt to settle your case for pennies on the dollar. Before you talk to the insurance company, call us first.
Our job is to make sure you get all the money you deserve.
Call Morgan, Collins, and Yeast. 1-800-55-WILDCAT.
It's that time of year, our annual Bracket Buster event at Adams Buick GMC Truck in Richmond, and we're slamming the competition. Get a new GMC Sierra for just $19,995. Save $8,000. Drive a new GMC Canyon, $299 a month. Save $5,100 on a new GMC Acadia, or save over $11,000 on a new Sierra 4x4. Plus, get the Adams Advantage, a limited lifetime powertrain warranty. Our annual Bracket Buster event is on at Adams Buick GMC Truck in Richmond, where
Sid says sell them.
Make time this spring to escape to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, where the only thing you'll want to do is have fun in the sun. Let the sound of the ocean's tide take all your cares away and leave you refreshed to experience something new. It's your moment to let go and unwind on Myrtle Beach Time.
Let go and unwind on Myrtle Beach Time.
It's time to wake up. You've got things to do, mouths to feed, work to get done. It's another Kentucky morning. And Kentucky mornings start here.
Good morning. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith.
You don't have time to waste, so we don't waste your time. Simple as that. Breaking and overnight news, weather to plan your day, plus traffic you can take with you. Make WKYT This Morning part of your Kentucky morning. Weekdays from 4:30 to 7 on WKYT.
I'm WKYT's Sam Dick, and I stand for Kentucky.
You don't have to listen to John Calipari for very long to know that the Kentucky coach is not a big fan of the NCAA Selections Committee and how, in his mind, they changed the criteria for seeding much more than he would like. Now, that dislike has only intensified as the Cats were made the 4th seed in the East Regional, taking on Stony Brook Thursday night in Des Moines. Kentucky's seeding will be debated until the games begin and maybe beyond. Cal couldn't believe his team got a 4 in A&M, the club they beat in the SEC championship game, got a 3 seed. You might imagine the players don't get nearly as worked up about their coach as things like this.
I'll ask them, what do you guys think about it? Because I don't, what do you think? They'll probably say, I don't care. Is there a sandwich anywhere? I'm hungry. So if they don't care, truly, I don't care. Let's go play the games. I don't think a couple of them probably didn't even know what it meant. We got some guys starting from the United States, so they're probably figuring out what is all this.
Oh my gosh, he was on a roll yesterday. Kentucky wasn't the only Southeastern Conference team to land a berth in the NCAA tournament. Vanderbilt, one of the final teams in, they play as an 11 seed. Wichita State, the play-in game, up in Dayton. And Texas A&M, a 3 seed, despite finishing the season with an identical 26-8 record as the Cats and losing to Kentucky in the SEC championship game. Now, in case you're wondering about how A&M is seeded higher,
well, that always makes it tough. But again, through the scrubbing process, Kentucky had some losses against teams that aren't even in the field. And compared as they were through the process of evaluating the teams, the committee felt like A&M deserved their place.
Oh my gosh. Don't forget about our Hoops Hysteria Bracket Challenge. It's your chance to win some awesome prizes like a 65-inch LED smart TV or up to $1 million. Simple to play. Just sign up at WKYT.com. That's all you have to do. And remember, the Cats' opening game against Stony Brook, you can see it live right here on WKYT. It'll be Thursday night, approximately 9:40. It'll be the second game of that pod there in Des Moines at approximately 9:40. No caucus, but NCAA basketball action, Bill, in Des Moines on Thursday night. For now, that's a look at sports in this month.
Yeah, they've already had that. All right.
Yes,
thank you very much, Buzz. We appreciate it.
And there's more to come in our next half hour of WKYT News at noon.
You can help a young girl's battle with cancer just by eating at Chick-fil-A.
Coming up at 12:30, we'll take you inside the Clark County Detention Center for an interview with the Winchester man who's accused of starting a fatal fire on Friday. It's an interview you'll only see here on WKYT.
Tomorrow night's Mega Millions jackpot is $20 million, and Wednesday night's Powerball jackpot is $70 million.